Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. It's 5:45 a.m. on Tuesday, September 26th. I really feel these last 48 hours I've been really crushing everything. First, during my fast for Yom Kippur, which I was nervous about before it began, but it actually turned out very well. And the reason I was nervous about it was that yesterday, I live in Phoenix, Arizona. Yesterday, it was approaching 100 degrees, and I didn't really want to do it, but at the same time, I needed to network with a couple colleagues of mine who were doing it. You see, I realize how difficult life is without a partner, whether it's romantic or not. But a lot of times, it really does take two people to open that door, right? Take an extreme example. If you want to adopt a child, good luck doing it as a single individual, right? Uh, Not that I would want to, but that's just one example. That's an extreme example. But everything else, right? Whether it be uh, uh, various jobs or living situations. When I first moved into this apartment, I was at the leasing office, and the difference in treatment was just too obvious for me to bear. Right? I hate to go into the details there because I don't want to relive it again. But the difference in treatment. You know, have you ever listened to the Dave Ramsey show or some of these financial advisors? But Dave Ramsey in particular, he gets a call from a gay couple, and he doesn't even shy away from showing his contempt. Right, the guy calls in and says, "Hey, my husband and I are doing this," and he instantly just freezes in there. Right, I think that's embarrassing how he's handling that. I really do. It's 2023. That kind of attitude might have passed for the 1980s, but not today, right? Oh, my husband and I just paid off our mortgage, and he sits there like not knowing what to say, right? Husband, really? What are you talking about? I mean, he still tries to verbally accept it, but you can tell the mental attitude is there, right? And unfortunately, most people won't do that to a same-sex couple anymore, which is good. But most people will still do that to somebody who is middle-aged and still single, and especially if somebody says they're never going to want to get married and something like that, right? Uh, anyway, so I decided to do the fast. What really took me by shock yesterday when I did the fast was how clean everything was. I got out of my car on my way into the campus and I realized I didn't have any garbage. I realized I didn't have to stop off at the bathroom, right? Arranging bathroom breaks has been a big challenge for me because I usually drink a lot of fluids. It's 100 some degrees here in Phoenix, and sometimes I got blocks of time. I'm teaching a class, and I've learned to go to the bathroom even when I don't feel like I need it. And other times I just want to focus on stuff, right? I'm writing an AI for the game of Gizmos. I plan to, because I'm naming my games after some of Mary Curry's discoveries, I'm planning to go to the statue of Mary Curry in Warsaw, Poland, to unveil my games on camera. And this December 21st will be the 125th anniversary of Mary Curry discovering radium 226. Now, what's really frustrating is that one of my students wants to, or two of my students want to reschedule their final exams. I don't know why it's so popular to reschedule, especially the fall semester final exam. When I was working on my PhD, people used to routinely do that as well. I was a teaching assistant, and I would often have to go in and proctor, and it just cuts into vacation time. It might only be a 2 hour, 3 hour proctor, and you might only make whatever you make in 2 or 3 hours, but it cuts into a whole half a week of vacation. Just really, I really despise schedules like that, right? I wish, as much as we're striking and talking about living wages and all that, the wages shouldn't be paid by the hour, right? They should be paid by how much they cut into your time, right? I had the same problem at a tutoring center where I was working, actually. I had a student who really loved working with me, and to be honest, I really loved working with him too. The problem is that he could only come at this very specific hour. I was My other hours were going from 4 to 8, 4 to 9, whatever it was. I can't remember the details, but he would schedule something from 1 to 2, and I really liked him, and at least the work that I was doing with him. I didn't like the timing of it, and unfortunately, again, I'm kind of like Dave Ramsey. I had a hard time not letting it show, and I think it really didn't work wonders with the student. And my boss was upset at me as well. And actually, I remember what made me so upset at everything when I talked to the student to ask him if he could if he was available at a different hour. The student explained to me that, see, part of the reason I can't really argue with the student, he's 18 years old. He was studying uh, uh, college level stuff, and he explained to me that he had just started his first job at a restaurant or something like that. And so at the same time that um, um, happy for him, I'm thinking to myself, gee, I have to give up all these hours where I can't really go anywhere. It's too short for me to concentrate on anything else, just so you could go work. And I obviously that's not the sentiment I wanted to show him, but that's what I thought of. And also, my boss was upset that I tried to talk to him about rescheduling. I don't know why we shouldn't talk to the students about rescheduling. You would think that would give a good rapport to the student that, hey, we are human too, right? I think my boss got he doesn't want the students to realize that their tutors are also human, right? I don't know. It's a control kind of issue. That's why I left the tutoring center. When I wrote on I eventually wrote a review about the center at Glassdoor and explained how, even though I loved all of the students, that the micromanagement of how we could talk to the students really destroyed any sense of motivation there. And most of the people there agreed with me. So I to this day, I still think the reason we couldn't talk to the students about scheduling, about uh, stuff like that, was to basically to micromanage, right? There's really no good reason to restrict doing that, right? Anyway, I'm gonna have to think about my students who keep wanting to reschedule exams. And I don't think they're being dishonest or anything. It's not like, see, when I was talking to a former classmate of mine who's doing similar work to me, and he says he tries to discourage it because there's often no cheating going on when that happens, right? I don't think that's the case with either of my students. I think what's happening is that they just want to live their lives, right, and externalize all of their scheduling conflicts to other people. Right? I really got the sense of that. Not that I dislike the students for living their lives, but I have my own life too. And especially to go unveil the game in front of Mary Curry and to visit my friend in Ukraine while I do that as well. And just really frustrating. I haven't had a trip overseas in 4 years now, if you can believe it. But I hope to do more of these dry fasts, though. After I started eating and drinking again yesterday, it really upset me that I had to go to the bathroom. I had to lug 2 bags of garbage outside. When I go to the garbage area, I gotta see all this activity outside, I don't necessarily like all of my neighbors, and it's not that I really dislike my neighbors. I want a break away from it. After a long day at work, the last thing I want to do is to hear my neighbors arguing over petty stuff. Some of my neighbors don't dress up as well as I do, and so uh, all right. This is the Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 Bum, 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum, 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 bum.